What's up, everybody? We're back at Transform with Emerson from Affirm. Emerson, what's the biggest learning so far from Transform?
Biggest learning is that AI is happening whether you like it or not. So Get on board or get left behind. My general perception is AI will not solve any problems. Like, it will enhance whatever is happening.
Exactly.
So if the muscle is atrophied, it will enhance an atrophied muscle. If the muscle is strong, it will enhance the strong muscle. So you have to do the work to define the things appropriately and reasonable enough to have some change over time.
Yep.
You have to do the work in terms of understanding the direction you want to point the AI, right? Or AI in general, right? Because, again, AI itself isn't the solution.
Yeah.
It will just enhance, it will shine a light on, magnify what is already there or where it's pointed. And so if you don't have the muscle memory, you won't point it in the right direction.
Yep.
And you'll get back inferior results.
Yep. One of the things you and I were talking about a couple of months ago, we both live in Salt Lake, so shout out to Utah. One of the things we were talking about was you have this like runner-up process that I thought was really interesting. Can you tell the audience about like that process and what that is?
Yeah. So we have a silver medalist process. We do quite a bit of hiring at Affirm and have some recs that are, like a senior software engineer, where we're typically always going to be hiring for that role. We run recs on a rec by rec basis, not pipelined or evergreen. And so getting candidates to the end of that process and selecting one candidate and then rejecting a bunch of people that could have otherwise worked out in another process is a pretty bad idea to me, and low-hanging fruit in terms of ability to jumpstart individual recs pretty quickly.
Yep.
And so we will have multiple folks make it to the end of the process. There will ultimately be a selection of one person to fill that role. We will then identify if there are any other silver medalists in that pipeline, and then have a reroute process to shift those candidates to an already opened rec, or pull a rec forward if we have a really great candidate, or otherwise try and keep them warm, because qualifying them is a lot of the legwork, right? And recruiting is a momentum game. If the momentum is already done, let's try and take advantage of it.
There's a term in executive search called exhaust.
Yeah.
And the idea in executive search, when you're working with an agency, specifically if they focus on one role, so we call it like hiring CTOs.
Yep.
They have 5 different clients, 5 different searches going on at the same time. If I talk to, candidate one might be a fit for client A or client B.
Yep.
Right. And similarly, like what you're saying is more from the internal purpose. It takes forever to find these great people. And then you get to the end of the process and it's like, look, we have this person. This person's like, N of 1. We got to hire them. But this person's amazing too. And we want to hire you at some other point in time. Just walk me through like tactile, like, is it going into a spreadsheet? Are you marking this in the ATS? Like, where does this live? How are recruiters expected to keep these people warm? Like, what's their incentive to do it? Because recruiters are busy.
A couple things to unpack. So first is the process and the tactical steps, which I would say is not perfect. I think it's still
Totally
a work in progress. What has worked for us is a Slack channel where a recruiter closes a rec, and if they reject those rec or all of those people, then they probably get a message from their manager. And so they're incentivized to reach out to that. We have a specific Slack channel with all the all tech recruiters, for example, and they'll advocate for those people for other recs.
Yeah.
I think a piece of this is also aligning culturally with the recruiting team, that the incentive is to fill recs, and when one wins, we all win, right? And having that sense of team and ownership, I think helps to align those incentives, whereas it's not just a recruiter looking to fill their own recs.